just enough armor to keep it as safe as we can, you know. And the thing is, it's one of the most dangerous things you could ever do intentionally, and probably one of the dumbest things you could ever do intentionally.
I guess it's the medieval equivalent to American football. It's that sort of violence and power, and you know, the crowds are cheering and everybody's getting into it, and it's good.
Well, I think everybody's favorite is the joust. I mean, you just can't see that every day. You get the knights on the horses, and they're very dashing and displaying the swords and trying to spear each other with the lances, and it gets very exciting out there.
We don't use full armor. We use helmet, breastplate, and shield. And we do a full contact joust. We don't have breakaway lances. We don't have just wooden dowels. All of our equipment is full weight, and it's very authentic, from the length of our poles to the size of our shield to the width of our list and length of our jousting list.
Size of the horses.
The size of the horses.
Everything. You know, we've all been injured. We've all gotten our bumps and bruises and breaks and sprains and scratches and all of that. But you know, we love it enough.
We're inspired by a lot of the things we see in the movies, and that's what people generally like to see, that type of action. And you know, in a live show, it's hard to get it right the first time, every time, but we do our best, and we keep it really exciting, and it's real, you know. It's not, you know, we're not falling into pads, we're not hitting each other with styrofoam sticks. It's all real.
It started innocently enough. I was helping a friend with a fundraiser at her church, and we decided that we would do a Renaissance Fair event as part of that.
The original fair was a fundraiser for my church, so I got involved with it because of that. But I've stayed because it's a great time.
And we've been in existence for about 13 years. We're a nonprofit educational organization, a 501c3, and we put on our event annually, the North Carolina Renaissance Faire, as well as a few other events throughout the year.
That's what really does it for me, is every year when I come here and I see everybody walking around having a great time, that really makes it worth it for me.
the first year we had 3 people that did it.
We're trying to expand and do other events.
And now we have over 300 volunteers that come forward every year to help us put on the fair.
We've done really well this year. We've had a good crowd. We've had a lot of publicity. It's really been very successful this year.
I think the first year in the field we had maybe 300-400 people that came, and it has grown every year, doubled in some cases, and just continued to grow and grow. Now we get 25,000 to 30,000 people over our 3 weekends.
That's going to be the biggest project over the next few years, is trying to find a permanent site, a permanent home for us.
We just thought it was lots of fun, and we found other people that thought it was fun too, so we just thought it would be a great community event.
Take time while time is for time will away. Whoso that great affairs have to be done, which at their own will they may dispatch soon. Let no deferring of time be you said, lest they be far off when they would be sped. Lest they be far off when they would be sped. I have at this time heard many one say, take time while time is for time will away. Take time while time is for time will away. Nice.
A hammered dulcimer is about several thousand years old. It comes from ancient Persia, where today, the area Iran, Iraq, they call it a santur. From there, it went up into China, where they call it a yangqin, and today it's the central instrument in Chinese opera. At the same time, it went into Central Europe, where in Germany, it's called a hackbrett, meaning hacking board. When it got to Hungary, it got bigger with pedals and mallets, and they call it a cymbalum, or cymbalum. When it came to the United States, 1800s, early 1800s, it wasn't called a hammered dulcimer. It was called a lumberjack's piano. Well, we play mostly traditional Appalachian mountain music, which is really Celtic music. It all comes from Scotland, Ireland, the British Isles. The tunes also, we call them by one name, but when I've played in Ireland before, sometimes thinking I was playing an American Appalachian tune, and the Irish musicians would say, no, that's called something else. A lot of the musicians that I have played with here in the Carolinas learn from their fathers, their grandfathers. Most of them don't really read music, but they play like they're on fire. We got lucky and got a few awards. I did the music for a PBS gardening show called Making It Grow, which is now on the Dish Network coast to coast, and the show has won 3 Emmy Awards for overall presentation, so we all got listed on the Emmys.
a man wrestled a squid at the North Carolina Renaissance Fair.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
If the king were here right now, what would you say to the king? Huzzah! Huzzah! Let's hear from Roger. If the queen were here, what would you say to her? What's up, your hiney? Your highness. That's better. I get confused sometimes. And all these wonderful people here in the village, what do you say to them? Jimmy, I are chocolate, and no one gets hurt.
If the color of his hair be black, if the color of his eyes be blue, if the color of his cheeks be rosy red, then what might the color of his skin be?
Just in case.
You think she'll giggle if I tickle her bum? She started giggling, didn't even get close to her bum.
Perfect. Keep going. Tap it a little bit more. Perfect. Gotta go cool it off.
That was a beautiful ending. That was.
We teach European martial arts, which is to say that we teach sword fighting from medieval time frame, dating from 1100 to 1500 AD. We teach everything from two-handed broadsword to sword and shield, pike, staff, dagger, and a number of different weapons other than that. The students that are behind me that train with steel, they're required to train anywhere from 3 to 4 hours a week in their armor with live weapons. The rest of the students that learn basic curriculums and for the advanced stuff with the safety weapons, they devote anywhere from 2 to 3 hours a week in training and classes. What we like to do is pretty much teach and also to explain and show what we actually learn in class with the practical side of the weapons that we use. So basically when they're doing a live sword fight in the ring, they're actually utilizing the skills that they've learned in class that we learned from the ancient texts, from the old fight masters.
Sir Edward on my left. Woo! And Sir Preston on my right. Now, ladies and gentlemen, in medieval Europe, the fighting that you are about to witness, this is the Super Bowl of that time. People travel for days and weeks to make it to tournaments because that is their festive sport.
Go on, Edward! Whoa! That was it, almost! Come on, Sir Edward! See you watching, you! Woo! That takes some. Go on, Edward! Good ball! Woo! Keep going. Oh. No, I was telling the audience to cheer for you. Reset.
Oh, please cheer for me!
It's only a matter of time, Preston!
For honor and glory! Lay on! As you can see, sword and shield fighting gets a little difficult. Not as easy to kill somebody as you might think. But we do have legal target areas and places we're not supposed to throw shots to. So we're required to hit somebody 1 inch above the knee and 1 inch above the wrist. So your hands and lower leg and knees are right out. Primarily, this is just a safety reason. The bones in your leg are real close to the top up there. And like we said, we like to have a good time with our friends, not necessarily permanently break them. Moms, while this looks dangerous, it's really not that bad. We have an excellent safety rating, better than football, baseball, anybody else. Come on, Gerard, kill it. Type of shield that he's using, you might think would be a little disadvantageous. Being so small, obviously not so much. Lord Duncan the victor, another challenger. Lord Duncan.
going, so you ready? Honor and glory. Way on.
Get on my shoulders and see it.
Belly dancing is great exercise. It also reflects the culture of the Middle East. Each country is a little different, so the stylizing of the dance will be a little different, say from Turkey, Greece, Egypt. Each country has its own representation and different movements that you'll find compared to the other country. The common denominator is always the hip movement, the core body movement. Instead of just moving the limbs, you're moving your entire torso. And in Turkish dance, usually a lot more energetic, a lot more bouncy, a lot more kicking and jumping and spinning compared to Egyptian dance, which is usually more in a column. Everything's very contained, everything's very small, so that it looks a little more composed and ladylike and not so aerobic. So differences like that will show up from country to country. Something as simple as like shoulder shimmies exist or they don't exist in the dance. The children and the elderly tend to enjoy the belly dance performances the most, I think because they have less inhibitions, and women usually get very intrigued by the belly dance because it actually gives them an outlet to express themselves artistically. It's very good for the body. It's very much like yoga. It can be very much like aerobics, depending on which study you take. If you go to a nightclub in Turkey or Egypt, they do belly dancing, and that's the culture. That's what it's about. Belly dance is great. Everybody should do it.
Okay, thanks. Ah! Oh, I ripped something. Oh, thank you. Come see the acrobatic show! Stupid people doing stupid things for your amusement!
Go!
All right, and who here has not been to the Renaissance Festival before?
First timers. We're gonna scar you guys for life. So those of you who've been to a Renaissance fair before, you know that the louder you get,
the more dangerous we become.
Yeah, kind of delayed. Be a little danger over here. No danger for you!
Wait. Guys, I don't think you all quite get it. The louder that all of you get, the more stupid we'll become.
Wow, they really want the stupid show. So, Dragon.
Yeah.
You know that,
No.
horse I stepped in? Hope you don't mind it. In your hair. We're gonna keep doing this till all of you clap.
Yeah, Nick, they're fake knives. Yeah, don't worry. We brought the wrong set, sorry.
They're not sharp enough to take your finger off, but if you screw up, oh boy, you're gonna feel it. So when I say three, we need you to run like mad.
Right through the knives.
Into the audience and hug that guy in the back like a hippie.
That's the important part.
Now in that,
the hippie hugging.
If you run when we say three, you will be safe.
But if you hesitate,
you will die. 1 and 2 and 3. Going up.
All right, are you ready for real? I'm ready.
Yeah.
Good.
Here we go. On 3, right in the middle. And 1 and 2 and 3. Going in. Head up straight. No one noticed. It's okay. 5 seconds. Souvenir. Here we go. And 3 and 2 and run. Going nuts.
Everyone, give a big round of applause for Nick.
What was that?
Woo!
Dangerous enough.
Do you want something stupider?
This is our full-time job. We travel almost the entire year. We usually take off November and December for time to heal and stuff like that. But pretty much all throughout, we're just on the road traveling.
You're performing every weekend and doing corporate gigs during the week and rehearsing, coming up with new material, traveling to different...
Beating each other up as well. Oh! 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 What are you doing?
I'm fixing it!
You're not fixing it, you're wedging it in!
Don't worry, Cameron, I'll catch you if you fall. I'm ready. What do you say, audience? Knives, yeah?
Audience, get ready to clap. This won't last long. Either will Dragon. Oh!
Where no woman has gone before.
Oh! We are so fired. Yeah. Oh! Whoa, hello.
dangerous enough?
No! Do you want something stupider? Yeah!
Wist Ricky wel bij me got ja, hadden we maar vrolijk weer op nul aksen vergazen.
Hij nevelsnek.
Hey, just your mouth, your mouth.
Have a lot more through and run.
Oh, a penny!
Casey!
Just stop
moving!
Yes! All you guys do is complain. You mean I can't even do this?
Hey! Don't encourage her!
Guys, should I just do the real trick?
Please!
Here we go.
I actually find the fire to be a bit more intimidating for most people to learn because they're so loud and you can feel the heat even from several feet away.
it's a family tradition of ours to do the bareback riding, the acrobatics on horseback, the somersaulting from one horse to the other. And then my dad, about 30 years ago, got involved in jousting, and he was one of the pioneer jousters for Renaissance fairs. About 30 years ago, Renaissance fairs started coming to light, started to get more popular, and my dad was definitely one of the first, and he put a jousting school together, as well as teaching other people how to bareback ride and stuff like that. And so we did a few shows with him, and then decided that this would be a nice addition to our gypsy show and have 2 shows and do Renaissance fairs, and worked out really nice for us because the people like seeing the gypsy show and they like seeing the jousting. We like doing both, so it works out well.
We knew how we wanted a show to look, and nobody else seemed to have the show we had in mind, so we said, you know what, we're going to have to do it on our own. And Alicio here, he's the one who really pulled it all together. I mean, he had some horses and he got more. He brought together all the people that were going to work on the project, and I was just I just give him ideas, you know, take this one. And that's how we made the trick riding show together, and then some time later we made the jousting show together, and we've just been a great team for turning out these shows. And you know, it's everywhere we've gone, it's been enjoyed and loved, and we've been asked to come back. So, I mean, we're watching it succeed and we're watching it do well, and it's a great feeling to be a part of something that's really appreciated and we can call our own, and it never has to stop growing. It never has to stop getting better.
watching our show. And now, feel free to come over to the fence and get to know the horses. And we also accept phone numbers.
They needed an MC for their show in Miami. They were doing 5 weeks down there at another Renaissance fair. And they asked me if I could take the job, and I gave them a really good French accent, my best, and they loved it.
Bonjour, my lords and ladies! Hello, and welcome to the JOUST! And now, let me introduce you to our fine knights of today. Over here in the white, we have, all the way from Italy, Sir Ulisio de Milano. Already you are booing him. Is it because of his hair?
Yes!
Okay. And this small knight in the green here, He is Sir Timothy McCrack from Ireland. He is also an alcoholic. And the lovely lady in the black and gold, all the way from España, is the lovely Lady Maria. And in the blue, we have a new competitor, all the way from Germany. Sir Atmar de... What is your last name?
Ja, das ist Hauptbahnhof.
Hafenhof. Some crazy German. Hauptbahnhof. Hasselhoff.
We're working with very big horses, and there's a lot of stuff that can go wrong. Swords can break, which they often do, and the lances, you know, if you aim a little bit wrong, then you can whack somebody in the wrong place, and where there's no armor. So it can absolutely be dangerous. Well, we we all get up on horses and hit each other with small trees. It's about the gist of it. Watch out for gravity. It's a tricky, I don't know if I can say this word. It's a tricky, you know what I'm saying.
Yes, that's right.
Come fill up your glasses and let us be merry. For to rob bags of thunder it is our intent. As we roam through the valleys, where the lilies and the roses and the beauty of Kashmir lay drooping its head. Then away, then away, then away, then away, then away, to the caves in yonder mountains where the robbers read.
There's a lot of friendly people here. It seems very closely knit, and it's a good place to be. It's a nice. We got a good response from the crowds, and we've been very happy with it here.
Yeah, I'm really happy with it. Everything's a lot smoother. Like you said, everyone's pretty much found the rhythm, and we're even progressing here. We're adding more stuff, new stuff, so it's a lot of fun, and it's nice that this was our starting place.
We were at a civic center one time, and a mother had her child by the hand, dragging him along, finger in his face, and she's lecturing him. This is what I've been telling you. You need to read, you need to study, you need to get an education, or you're going to end up like these people.
When I was 6 years old, my grandfather gave me a suit of armor, aluminum armor that was made in Italy. That was 50-something years ago. And I've still got it hanging on my wall.
I love going to Renaissance fairs. It's a close-knit family. You form good friendships, great bonds with people here. It's a chance just to have a break from reality.
I was kidnapped by gypsy belly dancers during the Ren Fair, and they taught me how to shimmy. And ever since then, that's what I wanted to do.
My fighters are the best of the bunch. They're very loyal, and they're very honorable fighters, and they do the best for the academy and for their fight master.
I was a terrible magician, and I decided I needed a hook, so I started eating fire, and everything else kind of fell into place from there, the sword swallowing the bed of nails.
I'm of the opinion that modern clothing is some of the ugliest that has been generated by a society in quite a long time. It emphasizes clothing that looks good on 1/10% of the people, and then all the rest of us try and wear it. It's absolutely awful. I look great in this. I look fantastic in this. I do not look good in the Speedo.
Oh, that just sounds so cute as a bug.
Implements of death and dismemberment. They slice, they dice, they mince, they julienne, they disembowel. Yes, they can slice through an army of crusaders and still cut a tomato.
Lots of energy at this festival, but it is a tiny one. As you can tell, there's lots of tents and stuff, not the permanent structures of some of the other shows, but still very nice. And the enthusiasm here is just it's incredible. Ren
fairs are just fun in general. The kind of people that you meet at Ren fairs, the people who participate, are just very unique. They're fun to be around. They're knowledgeable about the history, so it's a different time.
Can we have a hearty God Save the Queen?
God save the Queen!